In this lesson, we're going to look at how you can use conditionals with text to work on building a chatbot. Okay, so open up a new Colab notebook, title it something like conditional chatbot text. And what I'm going to do here is make a comment and just say, greeting function goes here. I'm not going to write it. Okay, we've done this before, like how to greet someone and respond with their name. And I think you'd want to include that in your chatbot. Okay, next, we're going to ask questions with conditionals. Okay, and the idea here is that you're going to vary your response, okay, based on their answer. So you've got to come up with appropriate questions, right? So just to give you an example, so what type of input could we have? Well, we could ask, what sport do you prefer? Basketball, soccer, we're in the US here, or another. Okay, and they're going to say one, and you want to respond accordingly. So let's call this sports, okay, because they're choosing a sport here. And the point of this is now we want to vary our response depending on what they choose, right? So let's say first they pick basketball, right? So if sport is equivalent to basketball, okay, now imagine they did a capital B. You always, I think, want to put lower in when you're checking inputs, you're checking strings. Okay, so if it's equivalent to basketball, then you're going to say something. Okay, and I'll just say Curry is the best. Unambiguous statement there. Okay, and just building up a basketball conversation. But there are other options, right? So what if elif sport.lower again? So this is the second case. We're going to have 3. And in this particular case, we want to know if it's equivalent to soccer, right? And again, we'll make another comment. So we'll print out, let's say Messi is amazing. Okay, just making some fun conversation. And then we have all other cases. And this is where the else is really nice, right? Because who knows what they're going to write? They may say something about another sport. And so you want to come up with a comprehensive statement based on what they're saying. And so maybe you print out, it could be anything. So I see something a little funny. Okay, so let's test this part of the code and then we'll do one more thing to it. Okay, so press Shift Enter. And what we're doing here, right, we're asking a question, we're varying our response based on the output. Okay, so what sport do you prefer, basketball, soccer, or another? Let's say I pick basketball and says Curry is the best. Okay, and maybe we can run it again. I think you want to check your different responses to make sure that the code is working properly. Let's try even capital soccer this time. I said Messi is amazing, and we'll do one more. Let's come up with a third sport, perhaps something like football. And I see. Okay, so now I'm going to just do one more thing. Is you can get inside of these now, and you can continue the conversation, right? You can use a nested if statement. So if I go inside of basketball, and then I say, oh, I can ask a second question about a team, and I can say, input, do you prefer the Warriors or the Celtics, say? Okay, and then again, I want to respond accordingly. So if team, and you could still just do dot lower here. I think that's always the safest, is equivalent to, you got to make sure you do a lower Warriors. Then, I can say something like, me too. Okay, I think you want to make the conversations a little more interesting. I'm just trying to keep it a little terse so that it doesn't take too long. And then, you could just have an alternative, right? Otherwise, And you can say, let's have something fun, like good luck with that. Okay, so the point here is that if you look at the indentation, right, these statements are clearly working together because they have the same indentation inside of the other if statement. And you could certainly take it even another layer deeper. But let's verify that this code is correct. Never assume that your code is correct. Always check it. In this case, we want to check basketball. I'll try the capital B this time. And note that this should also work for like if they make a mistake and put another capital, right? Because not dealing with capitalized, it's forcing everything to be lower. So Curry's the best. Do you prefer Warriors? I mean, it says of the Celtics. I meant or the Celtics. Let's say they pick another team, like the Cavs. Press return. Good luck with that. Okay, so you can see this is a cool way that with conditionals, you can really vary the responses of the chatbot. That will make it fun for your users and allow you to sort of go down different pathways depending on what they say.